Okay, soapy friends, this is Kevin with Divinely Design, and today we're doing a different video. Today I'm going to be doing a custom soap box video. So I like paper crafting as well, and I'm thinking of designing some boxes for some of my soaps and sort of sell them as premium packaged. So this soap is my oatmeal, it's my Beelicious, and it's got honey, bee pollen, beeswax. It has oil that was, it had bee balm infused in it. So it's a very bee-themed soap. And it's scented with oatmeal milk and honey. It smells so good. So I made this with a tall and skinny mold, and these are the dimensions of my soap. So it is 2 1/8 by 3 3/4 tall by 1 inch deep. So I'm going to make a box to fit this. And this is the finished product here. You can see I did some, I used some ribbon, and I have some punches and some brads and a little bit of bling. So we're going to walk through how I made, I'll get a little bit closer here maybe, how I made this box, okay? All right, so we are going to need a piece of paper that is 7 inches by 8 3/4 inches. So I have some cardstock, and I'm going to put that there. I have my scoring tool and a bone folder, and then I'm going to make some score marks, and I have them over on my paper here. So they'll be at 1 1/4. I'm sorry, I put the long way, the 8 3/4 edge. You're going to put that up against the top of the scoring tool. We're going to score at 1 1/4, 3 3/4, 5, and 7 1/2. Okay, so 1 1/4. Oops. 3 3/4. 5. And 7 1/2. All right, now we're going to turn it so the 7-inch side is against the top of my scoring, and I'm going to score at 1 1/4, 5 1/4, and 6 1/2. So 1 1/4. Make sure my paper's right. 5 1/4. That is my cat in the background if you hear. And 6 1/2. Okay. I'm going to move my scoring tool aside. And then we need to make some cuts. Now I have a template that I've already done, so the places with the X's, if I'm holding this smaller score line down here toward the bottom of my paper, and the 8 3/4 side is the long way, I'm going to remove these 2 blocks, this block, these 2, this one, and this one. So let me grab my scissors. Okay. Now this box is, I'm going to make it so the one end is closed, glued shut, and the other end will be able to be inserted into the box, and that's how you'll get your soap out. And that will become more clear in just 1 second. Okay, and one more box to remove, and that's this top corner here. Okay, now I'm going to make some cuts into my box. This is going to be the flap that closes so that you can get the soap out. So I'm going to cut up along this edge here, and I'm going to cut along all of these edges here, just the vertical cut. And when I do it, for this tab here, I'm going to cut just a little bit of an angle off, and this will help the box close a little bit better. I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to just cut just a tiny little sliver off the sides. Okay, so cut up my vertical lines here just to the first horizontal score mark. And then give them a little bit, just a tiny little sliver of a cut on the side. Now, I'm doing this for a very, limited amount of soaps. I don't mass produce soaps, so I'm going to be making probably about 10 boxes. So I understand this is not something that people who sell a lot of soap could do. Okay, now this one up here, you're not going to cut down the sides, you're going to leave it as it is, but I am going to round these corners at the very top here. And I have a little corner rounder, I'm just going to put that in there and... Okay. Okay, so this is what we should have left over. I'm going to burnish all my folds. Just take my bone folder and run it over so they're nice and crisp. And you can probably see the box is sort of starting to come together here. Okay. So this will be closed up when we get it all together here, and this little end will be the one that fits in here. Rounding those corners helps it to fit together a little bit. I may shave off just a tiny little hint on the side there, but we'll see once it's together. So I'm looking at the inside of the box. So if I turn it over, this is the outside of the box. And a couple of things. So the flap is down here. So if I turned this down this way, this is how I'd be looking at the box, and this would be the face that's going to be pointing out. So what I want to do to that is I'm going to sort of distress the edges here, and I'm going to cut out some of these embellishments. So first, let me cut out my embellishments, and I'll just show you how I did that. I have a Fiskars small hex punch, so I just cut out one of those, and a black one. And while I'm punching, I'm also going to punch out, no I won't actually. I'm going to stamp first. I have some VersaFine Black Onyx pigment ink, and this is a little bee stamp that I got from a Recollections stamp pack that's sort of bee themed. So I'm gonna ink up my stamp here. And give that a good stamp. And then I'm going to use a Stampin' Up stamp. I think this is called the Apothecary label. I can't remember. But this is a Stampin' Up stamp that looks like that. So I'm just going to sort of center my bee in that shape. Okay. Move this all aside. Close up my ink. And to do the distressing, I'm going to be using some Tim Holtz Vintage Photo ink, and I have his mini ink pads and the round blending tool. So all I'm going to do is sort of put that on the edge of my blending tool here, and then just go around the edges. Just like that, and the same here with my bee. I really like sort of sponging the edge of punch outs. I think it just gives them such a finished look. It just makes a ton of difference. Okay. That's really, oh, and let me distress the box itself. So remember, this would be the front, the face that's facing out. So I'm just going to fold over. This takes a little wrangling to get all of the edges and not get your ink everywhere else. Okay, so that's it for my distressing of the edges. And then all I did with the little hexagons is I took them and I sort of offset them a little bit and glued them together. So I have a couple that I've pre-made, and let me get my box. So I lined up the edge here along this top portion with one of the straight sides, and then I'm gonna glue in those and give them a little space between them. Okay, so I'm going to use some Tombow liquid mono multi glue, which is good for paper to paper and dries really quickly. I'm going to leave a little space between them because I want to sort of emphasize, you know, the shape of a beehive, sort of the honeycomb. Okay, those will take just a few seconds to dry. I'm going to be using a little brad, and I got these from Simon Says Stamp. They're little bee brads. And you can see on my finished one, I have it sort of hovering over one of the cells. So I'm going to take, this is just a foam block, and I'm going to take my paper piercer and pierce that. And then take my little bee brad and put that on there. And then I have a little bit of bling to add. These are from, I'm almost sure these are from Michaels, but they were on sale, so I got a whole bunch of them. I'm just going to take one and sort of put it in the middle of each cell. And I'm using my paper piercer just to sort of go under the edge of the sticky pad or the sticky thing and lift it up. That seems to work very well. Okay. And now our box should go together. So this is, remember, this is the side that's going to stay open. This other side we're going to glue shut. One of the sides over here where it comes together, or I'm sorry, the top side, the side that's closest to the facing you, that one should be on the outside. And then these two just fold in, and we'll fold those down. And I'm also going to make sure that, I just like it if this flap is the one that you're going to leave the last one to fold. So fold the bottom one over first, and this one, and that gives you a nice clean look, instead of doing it the opposite way, and then you have sort of an edge that's facing up, right? Okay. So, again, I'm just going to put some glue on these edges. I like this glue. It dries very quickly, but it gives you a little bit of time if you need to, you know, play a little bit and move some things around. So I'm just going to hold that for a second here. And we're almost done, actually. I like to take something and just run it along the inside here, so I'm pressing that glue down. So the bone folder, again, works really well. And you can do the same for the bottom, too, just to make sure that glue is sort of getting there. Okay, so this is the top that's going to close, and we have this rounded portion here. It should make it easier to fit in there, and that one fits really nice. Now sometimes you may need to tweak it a little bit, but don't cut them initially, because if you cut them like I sort of trim down the other sides, it sometimes becomes a little bit loose. And then doesn't close real well. So this one I could probably sliver off a hair and it would be fine, but my soap is going to fit in here just perfect. Okay, so then the last thing I have left is to use a little bit of ribbon here. I have this sort of honeycomb ribbon, but I also have I just got something today I'd like to try one here with, if I can remember where I put it. This is it's basically washi tape, but it came in this black and gold pattern, and so I'm going to try that, I think, a little bit. And then we'll just wrap that around the back. Just give that a good press, kind of all around so it doesn't come off. Ooh, I think I like that a lot better. And then last but not least is to add our little bee. Again, some Tombow Mono Multi Glue, and put it in place. Give it a little wiggle so it gets that glue sort of spread around. And there we go. Okay, so there are my two boxes. What do you think? I think I'm liking the black one, the one with the black and gold honeycombs in it. I think that looks really sharp. But the ribbon one looks nice too. Okay, so that's it for me, a little bit of a different video. Leave me some comments. Let me know, are you interested in seeing more videos about maybe making boxes and paper craft in general? I do like paper craft, so combining my soap and paper craft hobbies is really appealing to me. Comments, questions, leave them below. If you like this video, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, give that subscription button a click as well. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and check back here at Divinely Designed for more bath, beauty, and paper box soap related videos. Okay, bye all.